tell them.
Very good. All right. Remember last week we established that the Pythagorean theorem is used to find one of the missing sides in a right triangle. I also said please remember to put it in this order, and that the order is important because we will use that for something in the future. Well, the future is now.
That's awesome. Arise.
Okay? The Pythagorean theorem can be used to classify triangles when all three side lengths are known. Now, when I say classify triangles, it means determine, is this a right triangle? Is it an acute triangle? Or is it an obtuse triangle? And I will show you how.
Is there a special name for the converse of triangle?
No, it's just called the converse of the Pythagorean theorem.
I thought we said that was the same thing.
Yeah, it's just you don't know that you have a right triangle because it doesn't say there's a 90-degree angle. So you have to decide if it's a right triangle.
Wait, so the regular Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, but you just told us to write it backwards?
Right, just write it backwards.
Oh.
Because of what we're about to do here. When we're going to be solving these problems, C is going to represent the longest side. Get this. C is going to represent the longest side of the triangle that you're dealing with, while A and B represent the other two sides.
That's tight. Perfect. Cool.
Okay, we've already said this is the converse of the Pythagorean theorem.
You go back.
You have to write faster.
10 seconds. 5 seconds. 4. Okay. Got it.
If C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, then you know that you're dealing with a right triangle. That's the converse of the Pythagorean theorem.
Okay.
If C squared is less than A squared plus B squared, then your triangle is an acute triangle. And here's why the order was so important. Because a less than symbol, when you just look at the symbol, it says less than, you think small, right? And small, it would be acute.
So,
because the angles are small.
an acute triangle has 3 acute angles?
Yes.
And then right is right with 2 acutes?
Mm-hmm.
And then obtuse is 1 obtuse and 2 acutes?
Yes. If C squared is greater than A squared plus B squared, then the triangle is an obtuse triangle.
So why did we put the C squared first?
Because the symbol is facing in a direction that triggers small or big in our brains. If we write it the other way, it's still true, but the symbol has reversed. And when we when we just visualize the symbol, we think the wrong thing. That's why the order is important. Last year, I had too many students that couldn't get that together. Right. They'd always put the opposite. If it was obtuse, they'd put acute. If it was acute, they'd put obtuse.
And if it was right?
Well, they got that right. Okay, the reason this works is because the longest side of a triangle is opposite the largest angle. And I'm going to keep on with this explanation. I just want to make sure you can see it clearly.
So it wouldn't work with like it wouldn't work with an equilateral triangle.
Wouldn't it just be
There's
equal?
Well, it's the square of the sides, though. An equilateral triangle would be an acute triangle.
Yeah, but if you didn't know. I mean, never mind.
Okay. Because it's equal angular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And if the comparison results in, since the longest side is opposite the largest angle, and our comparison is less than, then it means that our largest angle is less than 90 degrees. Because if we got equal to, it meant our largest angle was equal to 90 degrees. Because it's a right triangle.
By the comparison, you mean a squared plus
C squared compared to a squared plus b squared. And then, if your comparison results in greater than, then it means your largest angle was greater than 90 degrees.
Who's our speaker today?
Yes.
No
Jesus.
idea.
Jesus.
I don't think.
Okay, you don't have to write this down, just look. That's why I told you that order is important, otherwise your symbol is backwards and you're confusing yourself. And you're going to put the wrong answer. Alright, this way we can just look at a symbol and immediately tell what the answer is.
Write this.
You don't have to write the instructions, but we're going to figure this out. If a triangle is formed with the sides given, 6, 8, and 10, that's the measures of the three sides. Is the triangle acute, right, or obtuse? How would you set that up to tell?
6 squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared.
Right.
Okay, the order is important.
10 squared equals 8
C
squared
represents the longest side. So the longest side squared compared, well, I'm just going ahead and square them now, to the sum of the other two sides squared
equal right triangle.
is equal. And it's a right triangle. In this case, it didn't matter because it was equal. Okay? But get your order right.
Skip.
It does that a lot.
Yeah, it's lagging for some reason. Okay. In this case,
Obtuse.
set it up and decide, is this an acute, obtuse, or a right triangle? Hold on, let everybody else, nobody shout out an answer, please. Josh is going to give us the answer. All right, Josh, what you said?
Is obtuse.
Josh says it's obtuse. Let's see. Our longest side squared compared to our other sides squared and added together gives me a symbol of
Yes.
greater than, which would be an obtuse triangle. Order is important.
So if it's equal, does that mean it's a direct?
It's a right triangle if it's equal. Now, y'all are all working diligently on this one, and I want to show you something.
Can you give us grace?